Hello everyone, welcome to R50 Mini Coopers channel. Today's video is about how to replace the spark plugs and spark plug wires on this 2003 Mini Cooper equipped with a 1.6 liter engine. The process is very simple, and just to prove how simple it is, Brandon's going to be doing most of the work. If you want to learn how to replace the spark plugs on your R50 Mini Cooper, just keep on watching and we'll show you how. So the first step obviously is going to be to detach the spark plug wires from the spark plugs. And you can start from any of the cylinders. You can start from the last one, the middle one. In our case, we're going to start from number 1 because that's going to make more sense. So the first thing Brandon is going to do is to detach the number 1 spark plug wire from the number 1 spark plug. Because of the location of the spark plugs in this type of engine, there's a possibility of dirt accumulating inside the cavity right there. And the last thing you want is dirt to go inside the cylinder when you're removing the spark plug, because if that happens, there's a very high possibility that some of the debris may get trapped in between one of the valves, and that alone might be enough for the valve to never seat again properly, and you're going to lose compression in that cylinder, from part of the compression to, in worst cases, all of the compression. And something that should have been a simple job like replacing spark plugs, now to repair it you would have to remove the entire cylinder head to fix that. So be very, very careful when you do this. If you don't have compressed air like we do, buy a can of compressed air from the store. So obviously safety is important, so Brandon's using safety glasses. That way if there is debris inside, when the debris comes out it's not going to get in his eye. So he's going to go ahead and do that. So go ahead, Brandon. Okay, another tip. Let's say you look inside on the cavity and there is oil, there's a lot of stuff going on in there. Maybe there was an oil leak that got in there, and what you want to do is just spray brake cleaner inside it, spray it in there. I'm not going to spray it on this one because it's clean, but you would have to do that and then blow it with compressed air, a few times. And at the end, once you have sprayed it and cleaned most of it, you can use a shop towel and a long screwdriver, and what you would do, you would use it to finish cleaning it. Okay, so that's if you have oil in there and it looks really bad. In our case, it doesn't. It was just a little bit of dust. So now that we have a clean cavity, Brandon's going to go ahead and replace the first spark plug. So now that the cavity is clean, the next step obviously is to remove the first spark plug. And what Brandon's going to be using is a 5/8 spark plug socket, an extension, and a 3/8 ratchet. So go ahead, Brandon. So here's the spark plug that Brandon just removed from the car. As you can tell, the spark plug that Brandon just showed you is not the correct spark plug for this car, because it's just a single platinum plug, and what we're going to do, we're going to be installing the correct one. The spark plug that Brandon just showed you is an NGK laser platinum with 4 grounds, which is the correct spark plug for this car. And by us installing the spark plug that should be in it, it's going to give the engine the performance that it needs, versus having the wrong spark plug that could cause some of the fuel mixtures to go unburned, which at that point it reduces your horsepower. Since this engine has an aluminum cylinder head, what we're going to do is we're going to apply a very light coat of anti-seize to the threads of the spark plug. And by applying a light coat of anti-seize, this is going to prevent the spark plugs from seizing to the head, and it's going to be easier to remove it the next time without damaging the threads on the cylinder head. So the next step obviously is to install the spark plug back on, and you can either use your socket and your extension to guide it in, or do it the way Brandon's going to do it, which is going to be using the spark plug to install it. So go ahead and install it back in the vehicle. And just keep turning it by hand until you feel that it bottomed out. Okay, so once you feel that the spark plug is seated all the way against the cylinder head, just go ahead and remove the spark plug installer. Okay, so the next step is to guide your socket and your extension back inside so you can tighten the spark plug. Once the spark plug is fully seated, you still need to go about 1/8 of a turn until you feel that it's really snug. No need to over tighten it, but it needs to be tightened enough that it's not going to come loose. So once you have done it, go ahead and remove your extension and your socket, and you're ready to move on to the next one. To make it easier, you can always replace the spark plug wires at the same time you're replacing your spark plugs. So go ahead, Brandon, and remove the first spark plug wire. Even though the next step is a no-brainer, I figure I may as well let you know. Make sure you compare your old spark plug wire to one of the new ones and grab the one that is the correct length, and go ahead and install it back on the vehicle. So as you can imagine, there is no need for Brandon to show you how to do every single one, since it's pretty much the same process. So at this point, you just replace the remaining spark plugs the same way. We're going to go ahead and continue doing that. In the meantime, Brandon's going to continue working on this car and finishing. But like I said, we're not going to film everything. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.